Imagine a faith hidden and forbidden, surviving in the shadows of American slavery. How did Islam endure when chains shackled bodies and silenced voices? This is that story. 400 years ago, Islam arrived in America with enslaved West Africans. Between 1701 and 1800, historians estimate up to half of the 500,000 enslaved were Muslim. They prayed in secret under cotton fields and wrote Quranic verses in Arabic. They taught children to recite chapters of scripture in hushed whispers. One captive, Ayuba Suleiman Diallo, carved Arabic phrases on his cell walls. Another, Omar ibn Said, penned a 15-page autobiography, opening with, "In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate." Their faith refused extinction, even as slavery crushed families, banned Arabic, and enforced Christian baptisms. By the Civil War, open Muslim worship had nearly vanished. For 3 centuries, Islam existed only in memory and silent prayer. Slavery's brutality struck at the heart of Muslim life. Families were torn apart. Children were baptized against their parents' faith. Arabic literacy was forbidden, and religious leaders were punished. Yet under dark skies and heavy chains, secret prayers echoed at night. Islam lived in whispered recitations and in the resilience of human dignity. That hidden faith laid a foundation for future generations. Consider Ayuba Suleiman Diallo's ordeal. Kidnapped from West Africa in 1731, he endured a brutal ocean crossing before landing in Maryland. His mastery of Arabic marked him as different. He refused to eat pork and demanded space to pray. His persistence shocked his owner, who ultimately granted him a private hut for worship. His life illustrated the conflict between enslavement and identity. Similarly, Omar ibn Said, captured in 1807, quietly chronicled his faith in a 15-page manuscript in 1831. Though forced to adopt Christianity outwardly, his text began with the sacred invocation, "In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate," words that survived centuries of silence. But that hidden faith was just the beginning. In 1878, a new chapter began. Immigrants from Ottoman Syria and Lebanon arrived as merchants and workers. South Asians traveled west to California farms. In 1929, a modest wooden mosque rose on the plains of Ross, North Dakota, one of America's first. Soon after, communities formed in Detroit and Cedar Rapids, each a beacon of devotion and resilience. These early pioneers planted roots that would later flourish. They built mosques, held Ramadan gatherings, and preserved Arabic calligraphy. Faith breathed again on American soil. The silence was broken. Fast forward to the mid-20th century and the rise of a movement uniquely American. In 1930, Wallace Fard Muhammad founded the Nation of Islam in Detroit, offering Black Americans a pathway to racial dignity and spiritual renewal. Under Elijah Muhammad's leadership, the movement grew, attracting thousands seeking identity and empowerment. Malcolm X emerged as a fiery voice of change, challenging segregation and inspiring hope. By the early 21st century, the Nation of Islam numbered some 50,000 members. Many transitioned to Sunni Islam under Imam Warith Deen Muhammad in the 1970s, blending racial pride with global Muslim traditions. This era marked a turning point when Islam spoke not only to heritage, but to civil rights and self-respect. In 1965, the Immigration and Nationality Act shattered national origin quotas. Suddenly, doctors, engineers, and students flooded in from Pakistan, India, Egypt, and Iran. Refugees fleeing wars in Bosnia, Somalia, and Afghanistan arrived seeking safety. This professional and intellectual influx reshaped American Islam. New mosques sprang up from New York to Los Angeles. Muslims gathered again under minarets and domes. Faith became visible and vibrant. What fueled this remarkable growth? Stay with us to find out. Today, Islam is one of America's fastest-growing religions. Pew Research reports over 3.45 million Muslims lived in the United States in 2017, up from 2.35 million in 2007. Growth owes much to 3 factors: continuous immigration, higher birth rates, conversions. Each year, new Muslim families cross oceans and borders, seeking a better life. Birth rates among Muslim Americans remain higher than the national average, adding children to communities each generation. Meanwhile, about 23% of American Muslims are converts. They come from diverse backgrounds: historically Black Protestant, no religion, Catholic, mainline Protestant traditions, finding in Islam a spiritual home they never knew they needed. Conversions tell a powerful story. 23% of adult Muslims in America are converts. Among them, 8% left historically Black Protestant churches. 6% came from no religious background. 4% embraced Islam after leaving Catholicism. 3% arrived from mainline Protestant faiths. Each conversion represents an individual journey of discovery through friendship, study, or the search for spiritual truth. These stories remind us that Islam in America is not only inherited but chosen. In shifting demographics, the tapestry of American Islam expands. In 2014, 38% of U.S. Muslims were non-Hispanic white, including Arabs. 28% were Asian, 28% Black, 4% Hispanic. The Black share has declined since 2007 as immigration reshapes communities. Yet retention remains high. 77% of those raised Muslim stay faithful as adults, rivaling retention rates of Hindus and Jews. For every conversion into Islam, roughly one person departs, joining the religiously unaffiliated. But growth has its price. In 2025, the Council on American Islamic Relations logged 8,683 anti-Muslim and anti-Arab complaints, the highest tally since tracking began in 1996. Employment discrimination accounted for 12.7% of complaints, immigration and asylum issues 6.5%, hate incidents 6.4%, travel discrimination, including watch lists and screenings 5.6%. CAIR's 2025 report called it a broad attack on Muslim life. Political rhetoric and policy rollbacks have fueled prejudice. Schools punished students for pro-Palestinian protests. Homeland Security loosened civil rights enforcement, while several federal bills sought to ban Sharia law. A Sharia-Free America caucus claimed dozens of lawmakers as members. Governors in Texas and Florida labeled CAIR a foreign terrorist organization. In the midst of global crises, hate crimes spiked. After 9/11, anti-Muslim sentiment soared. In the first half of 2024, incidents climbed 70% amid conflict in Gaza. Fear and misunderstanding still cloud Muslim lives. Enough hate. Despite these headwinds, American Islam presses forward. As we look ahead, projections point to continued growth. Pew Research estimates 6.2 million Muslims in the United States by 2030, and 8.1 million by 2050, or about 2.1% of Americans. Regional forecasts suggest the Americas will host nearly 11 million Muslims by 2030. These numbers reflect immigration, birth rates, and conversions all at work. Yet numbers alone do not secure belonging. From Ayuba Suleiman Diallo's secret prayers to today's 2,000-plus mosques, Islam's American journey has been defined by resilience. Muslims serve as soldiers, doctors, engineers, athletes, and public servants. But record complaints and legislative targeting reveal a gap between growth and acceptance. Embracing this future demands facing prejudice head-on. Challenging stereotypes in classrooms, workplaces, and social media can reshape perceptions. Solidarity with Muslim neighbors sends a powerful message. Diversity strengthens our nation. Understanding grows with knowledge, and knowledge begins with conversation. So the question remains, can the fastest-growing faith also become the most understood? The answer lies in our shared actions, dialogue, empathy, and solidarity. Every mosque open house, community conversation, and supportive neighbor builds trust. The next chapter of American Islam depends on the compassion we choose today. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos.